Japanese minimalism is a path to peace. Picture this. You're standing in your living room at 6 a.m., coffee in hand, and instead of feeling ready to embrace the day, you feel overwhelmed. Your eyes sweep across surfaces cluttered with mail you haven't sorted, decorative objects that once brought joy but now just gather dust, and that growing pile of "I'll deal with this later" items. You've worked hard all these years. You've built a life, raised a family, achieved goals. So why does your own home sometimes feel like a stranger's house, full of things that no longer reflect who you are today? If that feeling resonates with you, then what I'm about to share could change everything. Today, I want to take you on a journey to a small mountain village in Japan, where an 82-year-old woman named Yuki-san teaches us that the secret to finding peace isn't about adding more to our lives, it's about discovering what we can gently let go. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm not just going to share these ancient principles with you, I'm going to show you exactly how to weave them into your daily life starting tomorrow. And if this resonates with you, consider subscribing. We're building a community of people who believe that life becomes more beautiful when we stop rushing and start choosing with intention. Introduction. There's a Japanese word that has no direct translation in English: ma. It refers to the pregnant pause, the meaningful emptiness, the space between things that give them their power. In traditional Japanese architecture, ma is the silence that makes music possible, the blank wall that makes art shine, the empty corner that allows a room to breathe. As we enter our 40s, 50s, and beyond, many of us are discovering that we've spent decades filling our lives with possessions, commitments, and expectations, only to find ourselves yearning for that ma, that sacred space to simply be. Japanese minimalism isn't about stark white rooms or living with only 100 possessions. It's about kokochioi, the gentle art of creating surroundings that nurture your soul. It's about understanding that after years of accumulating, perhaps it's time to curate. After years of saying yes to everything, perhaps it's time to honor what truly matters. Today, I want to share 9 ancient principles that have guided Japanese families for generations. Principles that can help you transform not just your physical space, but the very rhythm of your days. First principle: the art of sacred refusal. Let me tell you about Kenji-san, a 67-year-old potter I met in Kyoto. His workshop is a masterpiece of intentionality. Every tool has its place. Every surface breathes with purpose. When I asked him about his secret, he smiled and said, "I learned long ago that every yes to something unnecessary is a no to something essential." In our consumer-driven world, we've been trained to see acquisition as success. That beautiful scarf on sale, the gadget that promises to organize our lives, the decorative item that catches our eye, each purchase feels innocent in the moment. But Kenji-san taught me something profound. Every object that enters your home asks for your attention, your care, and a piece of your mental space. The first principle is learning to pause before any purchase and ask yourself, am I buying this to fill a real need or to fill an emotional void? There's no shame in emotional shopping. We all do it. But awareness is the first step toward freedom. Your practice this week: before making any non-essential purchase, wait 48 hours. During those 2 days, notice what you're really seeking. Is it the item itself or the feeling you hope it will bring? Often, a walk in nature or a call with a dear friend will satisfy that deeper hunger more completely than any object ever could.
Second principle, the graceful art of letting go of gifts. This one might feel uncomfortable, but stay with me. In Japan, there's a concept called omotenashi, selfless hospitality. But true omotenashi sometimes means protecting someone from giving you something you don't need, even when their heart is in the right place. I think of Maria, a 52-year-old teacher who came to one of my workshops with tears in her eyes. Her spare bedroom had become a museum of guilt, gifts from well-meaning relatives that she neither used nor loved, but couldn't bear to release because Aunt Susan would be hurt if she knew I gave away her ceramic penguin collection. Here's what I learned from my Japanese friends. Keeping something you don't love is actually dishonoring both yourself and the giver. When a gift sits unused, it fulfills no one's intention. The giver wanted to bring you joy. If it doesn't, the gift has already failed in its purpose. Your gentle approach? Next time someone offers you something you don't need, try this phrase. Your thoughtfulness means everything to me. I wonder if there's someone in your life who would treasure this more than I could right now. You're not rejecting the love. You're redirecting the gift to where it can truly flourish.
Third principle, escaping the illusion of scarcity. Walk through any Japanese garden and you'll notice something striking. The most beautiful elements are often the simplest ones. A single stone, perfectly placed. A branch of cherry blossoms against an empty sky. The Japanese understand that abundance isn't about having everything. It's about deeply appreciating what is. Our modern world profits from our sense of lack. Every advertisement whispers you're missing something. Every sale creates artificial urgency. But what if you already have enough? What if, instead of adding one more thing to your life, you spent that time and energy fully enjoying what's already yours? I remember visiting a 78-year-old woman in rural Japan who owned 3 sets of clothes, a handful of books, and a tea set that had been in her family for generations. She was one of the most joyful people I've ever met. When I complimented her beautiful garden, she said, "I have learned to see richness in simplicity. Every morning, I drink tea from my grandmother's cup and feel wealthy beyond measure." Your mindful practice. This week, before buying anything, spend 10 minutes appreciating something you already own. Hold it, use it mindfully, remember why you once loved it. Often, rediscovering what we already have satisfies the urge to acquire something new. Fourth principle, living in your present self. Here's a tender truth. Many of our homes are time capsules of people we used to be or hope to become someday. The exercise equipment for the fitness routine will start next month. The craft supplies for a hobby we pursued 5 years ago. The formal dishes we're saving for a special occasion that never comes. In Japanese culture, there's deep respect for seasons, not just in nature, but in life. There's a time for planting, a time for blooming, a time for harvest, and a time for letting go. The same is true for our possessions. I worked with Robert, a 58-year-old accountant whose garage was filled with golf clubs he hadn't touched in 3 years, camping gear from adventures his knees no longer allowed, and woodworking tools for projects his arthritis had made impossible. "But what if I want to golf again?" he asked. I asked him gently, who are you today? Not who you were at 35, not who you might be at 65, but who are you right now? That question changed everything for him. Your honest reflection. Walk through your home and notice what belongs to past you or future you. Choose one item that represents who you are today and place it somewhere you'll see it often. Choose one item that belongs to someone you're no longer and let it go to someone who can use it now. Fifth principle, the daily release ritual. Transformation doesn't require dramatic gestures. In fact, the Japanese principle of Kaizen teaches us that small, consistent changes create the most lasting impact. Instead of overwhelming yourself with a massive decluttering project, what if you committed to releasing just one item each day? This isn't about deprivation, it's about cultivation. Like a gardener who removes one weed each morning to help the flowers thrive, you're creating space for what truly matters to flourish. Imagine this. Every evening, as you wind down from your day, you take 5 minutes to identify one thing that no longer serves your present life. A book you've outgrown, a kitchen gadget you never use, a piece of clothing that doesn't fit your current lifestyle. As you release it, you're not just clearing physical space, you're practicing the art of non-attachment, one of the most liberating skills you can develop. Your daily ritual. Each evening before bed, find one small thing to release. Don't overthink it. Trust your first instinct. In a year, you'll have created space for 365 new possibilities without ever feeling overwhelmed. Sixth principle, the 5-minute sanctuary. Here's something beautiful about Japanese homes. Even the smallest apartment feels spacious and serene. The secret isn't square footage, it's the principle that every surface is intentional. Every corner has purpose. If the thought of organizing your entire house feels overwhelming, you're thinking too big. Start with 5 minutes and one small area. Your nightstand, the corner of your kitchen counter, your coffee table. Set a timer, put on music that makes you smile, and transform just that one space into a tiny sanctuary. There's something almost magical that happens when you create one small area of perfect order. It whispers to your nervous system, you are capable. You are worthy of beauty. You can create peace. That tiny area becomes a seed of transformation that slowly spreads throughout your home. Your 5-minute practice, choose one small surface in your home. For the next 7 days, spend 5 minutes each morning making it perfect. Notice how it affects your mood, your confidence, your sense of control over your environment. Seventh principle, releasing emotional anchors. This might be the most tender principle of all. Some objects in our homes aren't just things. They're repositories of memory, grief, love, and identity. The jewelry from a marriage that ended, the clothes from a time when we felt more confident, the books from dreams we've outgrown. In Japan, there are ceremonies for letting go, ways to honor what something meant to us while still releasing it. You don't have to keep every physical reminder to preserve a meaningful memory. The love, the lessons, the growth, these live in your heart, not in your closets. I think of Sarah, a 49-year-old widow who kept her late husband's clothes in the closet for 3 years after his passing. When she was finally ready to let them go, we created a small ritual. She held each piece, shared a memory aloud,
and then passed it on to someone who could use it. I thought I was preserving him, she told me through tears, but I was actually preserving my grief. Your gentle approach. If you have items loaded with difficult emotions, don't force yourself to release them before you're ready. Instead, simply acknowledge them. This holds memories of pain. This holds memories of love. When I'm ready, I'll know what to do. Sometimes the first step is simply seeing clearly what we're holding on to and why.
8th principle, the 80% life. In Okinawa, where people live longer than almost anywhere else in the world, there's a practice called hara hachibu, eating until you're 80% full. This wisdom extends far beyond food. What if you lived your entire life at 80%, leaving space for spontaneity, for rest, for the unexpected gifts that can only enter when we're not completely full? Apply this to your calendar. Instead of booking every moment, leave gaps for serendipity. Apply this to your closet. Instead of cramming it full, leave space so everything can breathe. Apply this to your expectations. Instead of demanding perfection from yourself, leave room for learning and growth. The remaining 20% isn't empty. It's potential. It's the space where creativity lives, where relationships deepen, where peace can finally settle into your bones. Your spacious practice. This week, intentionally create 20% space in 3 areas. Your schedule, leave some unplanned time each day. Your physical spaces, don't fill every shelf, every drawer. And your energy, say no to at least one thing that drains you.
9th principle, choosing moments over monuments. As we mature, we begin to understand a profound truth. The most precious things in life can't be stored in boxes. The laugh that made your sides hurt, the sunset that took your breath away, the conversation that changed your perspective, the quiet morning when everything felt exactly as it should be. These experiences ask nothing of us except presence. They don't need to be dusted, organized, or insured. They don't take up space in our closets, but they expand infinitely in our hearts. When we stop trying to capture and keep everything, we start experiencing and enjoying everything more fully. Instead of photographing every meal, we taste it. Instead of buying souvenirs from every trip, we collect sensations. Instead of filling our homes with reminders of good times, we create space for good times to happen right now. Your experiential practice. This month, instead of buying something you want, spend that money on an experience. A massage, a cooking class, a weekend away, a concert. Notice how the joy from the experience compares to the joy from acquiring objects.
As we reach the end of our journey together, I want you to imagine something with me. Picture walking into your home 6 months from now. The surfaces are clear and purposeful. Every object you see has a reason for being there. Not because you felt obligated to keep it, not because you might need it someday, but because it serves the person you are today. The air feels different, lighter. Your shoulders drop as you cross the threshold because your home has become what it was always meant to be. A sanctuary that supports your peace rather than demanding your energy. This isn't about having the perfect minimalist Instagram home. This is about creating a life where your surroundings whisper, rest here, be yourself here, find peace here. The Japanese have a beautiful phrase, ikigai, your reason for being. Sometimes we need to clear away what doesn't matter to discover what does. Sometimes we need to let go of who we used to be to make room for who we're becoming.
Your first step starts now. Choose one of these 9 principles that called to your heart today. Not all of them, just one. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it tomorrow. And then, with the gentleness you'd show a dear friend, take one small step toward the life you actually want to live. Remember, you don't have to transform everything overnight. In fact, the most lasting changes happen slowly, mindfully, with patience and self-compassion. Every small choice toward simplicity is a choice toward freedom. Every item you release makes space for something better: peace, presence, and the profound satisfaction of living with intention. If this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to join our community. Subscribe, share your journey in the comments, and let's walk this path of intentional living together. Because the most beautiful life isn't the fullest one, it's the one where every element has been chosen with love. Until next time, may your days be spacious, your choices be conscious, and your heart be light.